A story called The Lark's Song, that's really ostensibly about a fox, or at least seems to be so, is really odd. But even odder still was the fact that I was sitting down writing a creative writing requirement when, for perhaps all of my educational career, I never thought I would have the time to do creative writing, nor the capacity, and really none of the skill for creative writing either. But there I sat. I had just endeavored to complete some creative writing assignments for the College Honors Scholars application last fall. There were kind of two components. One was to kind of write about your academic pursuits and kind of any leadership experience, but then there was this more fun assignment that was about a fox, a fig, and a flashlight and how they ended up in your dorm room. Now, I wanted to have a lot of fun writing this, but I also wanted to use this as an opportunity to kind of spill my heart out onto the canvas. I feel like creative writing is an excellent forum for displaying who you are and sort of gently critiquing where you find yourself. And so in that same way, I wanted to use this assignment to really do so many different things. Not only showcase perhaps any kind of desire to pursue creative writing, but also to gently critique where I find myself, where I have in the past found myself, and explain who I am. And so in the process, kind of these two general themes within the story really sprout up and I think take hold of the story and take it through the course of its short lifespan. These two themes are, one, that each and every one of us has a greater calling, and we are only called to break free from the doldrum of everyday life, seek freedom, and pursue it. And then the second theme is that each and every one of us desires some sort of rest. And then we're beckoned by the story, I believe, to kind of ask, where are we going to find that rest? And so as I was writing this story, I wanted to incorporate these two themes because there are two things that I'm very much wrestling through within myself right now. As a first-year student here at Vanderbilt and kind of a burgeoning young guy in a world that seems to be falling apart around us, whether it's the crisis in Ukraine, rampant injustice across every single continent, whether it's conflict in my own life with my own family and in my own circles, there seems to be so much that is dragging me away, making life even more kind of a doldrum, but also encouraging silence. Around us we see injustice, whether that's in Ukraine with the situation with Russia there and the invasion, or whether that's rampant injustice against minorities here in the United States that stretches back hundreds of years, or injustice anywhere else in the world. Evildoing often goes unspoken of, or at least gently acquiesced to. That was true in my childhood, but is not only true then, but true now. As I look around myself here at Vanderbilt, yes, sometimes we make big deals about certain things, but as a whole, we generally remain kind of quiet. We care about our education, we want to keep on going on our daily life, we want to just keep on plugging along, and I'm not saying that's inherently bad. But in the story, the fox decides he wants to break free from such things. He wants to break free from kind of, I use this word so much, but the doldrum of everyday life, the simple acquiescence to all that is happening around him, the injustice against himself, his own family, and his life. And he decides that he wants to seek a greater freedom. And in the same way, I would like to seek a greater freedom. That's my life's goal. As a Christian and as a believer in God, my goal is to pursue justice, to pursue peace, not just for myself, but last for myself, for all peoples of all the earth. And so I see the fox sort of as myself in this kind of great awakening of realizing that I need to break free, and I need to pursue a greater justice and a greater calling. So the story kind of asks us what is our greater calling, but it also asks us where we find our rest. Here at school, whether it's just physically and needing to seek rest from all of our assignments or from all that's happening in the world, happening in our families, there's so much brokenness surrounding us. The fox has this brokenness as well, but there's just silence that's met with it. We don't find rest in silence. Instead, things get swept away in silence and they continue to fester within us. And so the story beckons the fox to kind of seek where his rest is going to come from. And he actually finds his greatest rest in pursuing that great fig, that great delight, that greater calling that I was just talking about. The fox realizes through the lark's song that there is greater freedom to be had and greatest rest there. And in my life, I find the same to be true. At the beginning of the semester last year, I didn't know if I would be able to make it through this entire time at Vanderbilt. But now, more than ever, I am confident that not through myself, but through Christ in me, through the great rest that comes in that greatest prize. There is such good rest to be had, and such beautiful joy. And in the same way, this story, whatever it is that your greater calling is, whatever you are being called to, beckons you to ask two questions. What am I being called to? What am I going to go ahead and pursue? And where do I find my rest? And as we anticipate these questions and kind of delve and look within, I think we learn so much about ourselves, whatever we look like, because no one's going to look like me, but I think we all are sort of this fox, attempting to break free from the doldrum of everyday life. And I encourage you to take hold of this time in college and to pursue great things. I know you can, and I'm excited to see you do it.